Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host John. Today we continue our Disney 100th anniversary special week with Tarzan, and again another underrated or underappreciated Disney animated movie, where again depends on the generation of who you ask. It's either pretty good or all right. And you're like, oh, okay.
Again, since when did people start saying this movie was alright?
That's again, it depends on the generation you ask. Like the older people, like maybe some relatives, like your uncles or aunts or titas and titos, they'll be like, it's alright, but I prefer the other, like Snow White, Lion King, Maleficent, Sleeping Beauty, all the old stuff. But I'm like, but I grew up with this, so it's close to my heart.
Yeah,
In
a way.
And then it's a story about a guy growing up with gorillas, and the music, for some reason, is pretty good.
they were just like, alright, Phil Collins. Like, it's just about a boy who grows up with gorillas and finds love. No need to go crazy with it. The piano starts burning as he writes the music. Like, what the fuck?
Like, right away, you just hit it with his music, and you're like, I like this. Even as a kid, I was like, I really like how the music goes.
Yeah, and then you find out that Phil Collins actually makes music, like, later on into your life. That was me. I was like, oh, the guy who made Tarzan makes other music, and they're all really good. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I found out when GTA 5 came up because one of his songs is in the playlist. I was like, oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think it's in, like, the Rock Radio one.
Okay.
But yeah.
Makes sense.
Continuing with the Disney trend of, like, let's kill the parents. It's like, let's kill the parents and the kid. With, like, both respective families.
Yeah. The most traumatic fucking, like, I never looked at a zoo the same ever again. After the jaguar scene, I was like, was it a leopard? Jaguar?
Leopard. Jaguars
Leopard.
in South America. This is in Africa. The elephants would know that.
Not bad.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie, I was like, I am terrified of leopards forever now. Lions, I can deal with. Leopards, no.
No. And like, it starts to chase like little Tarzan all around. I was like, no, I don't like that.
It's also nice, cool seeing that Kojak is voiced by Lance Henriksen from Aliens, and
yeah.
the mom is voiced by Glenn Close from Guardians and 101 Dalmatians. She's Nova Prime in Guardians.
Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Which one's Nova Prime?
The leader, like the female lead of Nova.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there are some hurdles little Tarzan has to overcome when growing up with girls. Like,
Cruella de Vil. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like, how do I live in a society where I obviously am different? And how do I learn fast to get Kojak's approval? And you're like, I want to see this journey. And he does well. He learns pretty fast. All the tricks, and he also has his friend. What's his friend's name? Turk?
Turk. Yeah. Just call him Turk. Her Turk. I found out Turk was a girl.
Yeah.
Listen.
Years later. But yeah, Turk and Tantor are his buddies, but Tarzan is finding it hard to fit in. He even tells his mom, like, what do you mean I'm not different? Look at me. She's like, I am looking at you. You have eyes and nose like me. You even have 2 ears. And he's like, that's not the point, but sure.
Okay, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The mom in Tarzan reminded me a lot of my mom. Not because she... I'm not saying my mom was like a gorilla. Just saying... Again, I'm digging myself a grave here.
I hope
how she was...
I hope Tita doesn't watch these.
How my mom was with me. Alright?
Hope your sister and Tita don't watch these then.
No. Don't send them the clips, please. But yeah, if you want a good idea what my mom was like, the mom in Tarzan was pretty much here. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I found a lot of comfort when it came to Tarzan when I was a kid.
Yeah. Every time it was on, I would just watch it whatever point I would like see it on TV, whether it be the beginning, the middle, or the end. I was like, I gotta watch it. It's Tarzan. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. It's a damn good movie.
And I would also use Tarzan for like white noise when I was doing homework because again, the music fucking slaps. So I was like peacefully doing math or whatever subject. I was like, one of the few movies that give me tranquility when doing homework.
And if you kids are wondering, why didn't you just put on Spotify? Why do you have to put on a movie? We didn't have Spotify back then.
Well, yeah, we had the radio. Of what it is for. But yeah, Tarzan grows up to be a man, and like he's still trying to win Kojak's approval, and like he does that by killing the leopard. I do like the art style when he sees something in the brush, and you're like, "What do you see?" And you just see these yellow eyes. You're like, "Oh god, that's gonna be the last thing you ever see if you weren't aware."
And we get a fucking cool fight scene too.
Yeah.
Again, the animation was crazy. They did that too. In old Disney, they showed us how they did the animations for like, for Tarzan, like him like skating through branches and trees and doing the vine swinging like Spider-Man. Like, that shit was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then they would. I remember like how not practical, but like somewhat real the fight with the leopard was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when the leopard's like trying to grab onto him, he grabs a rock and sticks it between two branches.
Yeah.
I was like, that shit was so cool. And again, traumatic, because when I saw that thing, I was like, ah, fuck, he's gonna kill Tarzan, isn't it? I was like, wait a minute. We had like an hour.
Yeah, literally feels like Tarzan is like fighting desperately against this thing that has no human or like gorilla thoughts of like, maybe I should reason with this man first, not just going on instinct of like, I'm hungry, I want to kill you. And Tarzan kills it, and like after he does
and
that,
that's a cool shot.
Yeah,
like the thing collapses, and then like the first part you just see like the leopard like kind of waking up.
Yeah,
and then the next scene is like Tarzan lifting it up, and it's like dead limp. I was like, that is so cool. I don't know why Disney's showing us dead animals, but that is so cool.
Right, and then you see the oh shit, and the iconic cry of Tarzan, and he brings the body to Kojak, and for once Kojak, you feel like Kojak's like, you do belong with us, you are one of us, but like they're distracted by gunshots, and that's where you meet Clayton and Jane and Jane's dad. Yeah, Clayton played by Brian Bess, who was a gun in The Phantom Menace. He's the found out as an adult.
The sound picked it up.
It did.
Oh, okay.
Found out that he was the same actor years ago, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he can be funny and an asshole. Interesting. Jane's played by Minnie Driver of what's it called, that movie with Robin Williams and Matt Damon? Good Will Hunting.
That was her?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Explains the British accent.
Yeah. And then she has unfortunate incident with baboons, and like in my mind I was like, why can't the gorillas speak English fine, but the baboons are primal? Interesting.
It's not Jungle Book, oddly enough.
All right. Anyway, Tarzan finds out that like there are others just like him, and he would like to know more about them. And
wait, no, yeah, you got a point. Hold on. How come other animals can't communicate properly with Tarzan and the other
animals,
gorillas?
Yeah.
But then there's the elephant.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
I guess. Now I'm stretching it. If I'm like, maybe they're more evolved. I was like, what the fuck am I talking about? It's about this movie's about a man and gorillas.
In a Tarzan movie. Okay.
Exactly. But no, we get the interaction with Jane and Tarzan, and Jane being like, what are you? And Tarzan also being like, what are you? And they kind of figure out what they are. You find out that the Jane's company is looking for gorillas because back in the day there weren't such common sightings of gorillas, and you're like, that makes sense. People come here to Africa to explore and probably end up disappearing because they're eaten. Who knows?
Well, seeing how Jane and the dad like do things, I can see why.
Yeah, but Kojak doesn't want anything to do with the humans. He's like, they're different. Well, I'd rather not put my family in danger. And you're like, Tarzan, as a kid, you're like Tarzan of like, yeah, why are you afraid of things that are different? now as an adult, you're kind of like, at the same time, you have a family to protect, and they were almost trampled by elephants because of Tarzan. Now, Tarzan's introducing new species that you have no idea what they're about. So I understand Kojak's perspective, but like, you feel for Tarzan because he's like finally things.
People were like me.
Yeah. I do love the sequence when Clayton goes, "I'll teach Tarzan to show us what we want," and he starts drawing gorilla, and he's like, "Gorilla, gorilla."
It's such a good scene and another banger of a song. I was like, oh, so
Yeah.
good.
Him going through the slides of like, oh, this is what people like me do on a daily basis.
Where the guy's like walking with a girl, dancing with a girl, riding a bike.
Yeah. And how to court someone. And he's like, oh, so that's how my species does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all this time, they're like, we're kind of here on a limited time because the boat could arrive any moment, and that will be our literally last chance. Because again, travel is not as common as it was in the Victorian.
It would
Today.
take you like a month,
Yeah.
weeks,
Just-
from point A to point B. So you complaining about your 12-hour flight does not count. Nothing.
Yeah, compared to like what, a month on sea near the Cape of Africa where storms were frequent. They're like, today you're more comfortable than they were back then. But yeah, Tarzan finds out that Jane has to leave, and Clayton manipulates him of like, if you show them the gorillas, maybe Jane stays forever. And Tarzan's like, fine, I'll show them my family. And he asks Turk of like, please, I'm asking you as a friend do this, and Turk's like, fine, I'll fucking do it. And he dresses up as she dresses up as Tarzan, or Jane, and
Jane. And
Tantor.
then
is
the
again-
elephant dresses up as a dad
Yeah.
with a little mustache. That shit was so cute.
And like Kojak chases them, but again as an adult I'm like, girls are pretty smart. How come Kojak, again, I'm trying to inject logic into this. I don't know why.
It's a kid's movie, man.
Yeah. And then they find the family and they're having a great time, but like there's a moment of like, wait a minute, when Tarzan teaches Jane of like, oh, tell them this, and Jane says the thing and she's like, what did I say? Jane stays with Tarzan. And she's like, I can't. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And then Tarzan's like, but why? And then Turk and Tantor come back, and Tarzan's like, shit, you went in a full circle. Now, yeah, Kojak's here. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Seeing Kojak like have that disapproving father look,
Yeah.
like when he sees it, I was like, oh, they're humans in like my nest, and I was like, I legit felt danger when I was a child. I was like,
Yeah.
angry
Again,
gorilla.
this showed me that, this movie as a kid showed me that leopards and gorillas are two animals that you never want to mess with. One of them you'll
No.
never see coming, one of them you will see coming, and you'll be shitting your pants and pissing yourself.
Look, when a giant beefed up vegetarian like comes at me, how the fuck does he get that mass from just eating vegetables? I don't know, but I don't want him ripping up my face.
Right? And then the girls and Tarzan go their separate ways because Tarzan's like, look, man, these are my species. These are my people. I have to find out who I am. He gets to know because of his mom. And we get a sweet moment of him being like, wherever I am, you'll always be my mom. And you're just like, why?
I hate that. I really did. I was like, that was the time when I cried to my mom. I was like, Mom, will I leave you one day?
And it goes off, but like it's a trap set by Clayton. And Clayton plans to capture the gorillas for money. And then Tarzan yells out, and then Tantor and Turk go for a rescue, and then they go back to the jungle to rescue Tarzan's family. And like they come in the middle of just in time because Clayton's about to deadass execute Kojak, and you're like, as a kid I was like, they're not gonna show him popping off his head, right?
Knowing the bullets that they used back then just to kill a gigantic animal, for sure they're not gonna use it, right?
Yeah. It's cool seeing Kojak and Tarzan kick ass together, and everybody's kicking ass together. But like,
Yeah.
Tarzan's grazed by a bullet, Then Kojak charges towards Clayton, then Clayton shoots him in the chest, and you're like, why? Why do you shoot Big Monkey?
And then like we get this moment with Kerjak and like Tarzan where he finally approves. It's like, you were always one of us.
You are my son, and you're like, why?
Why?
Oh no! Before that, we get the fight between Tarzan and Clayton, which is pretty traumatizing, depending on who you ask, because you
That
see
shit was cool though.
it was, but like when he cuts all the vines and you see the very
Oh.
clear sign of death, you're like, oh, that's a hanging body.
But that shit was so cool though, because they're like fighting, and then they get to the vines, and then you just see Tarzan going, "Clayton, stop!" It's like,
Yeah,
that shit was pure tension. I was like, why are you telling him to stop? He's the bad guy.
right.
But of course, we know Tarzan's better than that.
Yeah, and you see the rope twip and Clayton just hanging. Like you don't see the body, but
And
you
then the
see.
lightning like shows a shadow.
Yeah.
Hung body. I was like,
Like out of all,
wow. I'm never gonna look at life the same ever again.
I think out of all the Disney movies we've done, I think this is the clearest sign of like death, of like oh shit. Like
The
next
one that
to
we've done, because Anastasia was pretty fucked.
Anastasia, we haven't done Anastasia.
No. Was it Anastasia? Well, it's the one with the Russian girl.
That is Anastasia, but we haven't done Anastasia.
Yeah, I'm just, okay.
Well, you know what? We'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, and then we get the scene of Kojak and Tarzan again. You're just like, why Disney, why? And then we get another touching scene when Jane and her dad are sailing away, and Jane's dad is like, look, I can't help but feel that you should stay, and just like, but what about my life back in England? He's like, yeah, but you're in love with Tarzan. And anyway, people disappear in the jungle every day, so go ahead.
And the dad like follows suit as well. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. And then we get one more song from Phil Collins. You're like, again, it's a very satisfying ending of like, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
And it ends pretty well, and like, I don't think there's a sequel to this either, unless the show is a sequel, which I can't remember.
There was where he was a kid.
So it's
It was like straight to DVD.
oh, so it's a prequel.
Yeah.
But among, the Disney movies that are about pre 20th century life, I like this one the most. Because the other
Same
choice is Pocahontas, and I don't think we'll ever do Pocahontas unless it's Slow Day or we want to shit on something pretty badly.
Fuck, man.
But the songs are nice, but the story isn't. The repercussions of what the story isn't.
Nah.
No.
We don't fall in love with our captors.
Or people who... You know what? We'll get there when we get there. Years from now. Anyway, what would you rate the Disney version of Tarzan?
Man, I guess it's one of a solid 9 out of 10. Like, I fairly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, fuck it. Because of Phil Collins, 10 out of 10. Look, this is the movie that put Phil Collins on my radar. I was like, I like this man. I love every bit of his music. And I love the animation. I love the voice acting. Finding out who the voice actors were.
Yeah.
Who's the voice actor for Tarzan?
I forgot.
Oh.
I think he's on Broadway. One of the Broadway
Okay.
actors they find.
Good for him. But yeah, great action scenes. We get like really intense scenes. It taught me and Anzo not to fuck with nature. Like, whatever Steve Irwin's saying, yeah, we follow whatever that guy does.
Right?
Minus the croc wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah, but this is like a pivotal moment of our childhood where we're like, oh, hey, me and Enzo like wildlife, but we also like Disney movies. And they kind of mush it together, and they're like, ooh, what would happen if early 19th century people came to the jungle and met a boy raised by gorillas? And that shit was a trip. And I love it.
You know what? Yeah, I'll also give this a 10 out of 10. It's a pretty good movie. Again, I can't find any faults. It really depends on who you ask. I know Nostalgia Critic doesn't like the music in this one. He's not the biggest fan of Phil Collins.
To each your own.
Yeah,
You do you, Tug.
yeah. Again, it depends on the generation. Did you call him Tug?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad.
The fuck?
Doug.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that, Mr. Nostalgia Critic. Uh, but yeah, it's an interesting thing when you like ask like your older cousins of like, why don't you like the other Disney movies after Lion King? They're like, because they're all right. They're not as magical. And in my mind, I was like, but they are to me. How could you?
Yeah, but like this made Tarzan like a household name. I remember like watching it on Disney every chance I get, and I
Yeah,
love that shit.
probably because to be fair, probably because the first lineup of this new wave of Disney movies started with fucking Pocahontas, and they're like, okay, and it kind of set the trend in their minds of like these are less than the originals. But get us a chance because
Just give him a chance. Like I swear, you're not gonna regret it.
yeah, after the rough start of this Pocahontas, it gets pretty good, to be honest. Uh, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Would I? You can skip Pocahontas if you're a Disney, becoming a Disney fan, because I don't think it's required watching, especially if you're not part of the Americas or Europe. So you're fine on that front.
Unless you want to watch it in English, then that's what.
Sure. But yeah, that's all I can say about that era of Disney animation and for Tarzan. Yeah. And yeah, that's our video on Tarzan. If you guys like our videos, please give them a like, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on TikTok and Spotify. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments and our reaction to trailers, and Spotify to yours on the go. I am not on any social media, but this guy is.
Well, you can find me at JohnJM on Instagram. It is my art account.
And until the next one, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.